Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live webinar show. And today, the topic you all know who can come to Canada. Today, in this webinar, we are going to discuss in detail about the Canadian job opportunity, immigration, and student related information which available in Canada. Most of us, you all know, are watching my channel for a long time, sharing my knowledge and information related to the Canadian immigration job opportunities for people who are interested to come to Canada from other countries like India, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Hong Kong, also from the Gulf countries like Dubai, Oman, Qatar, African countries. Also, presently, people are coming from African countries like Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria. Okay, let's give me few minutes. Let's see the people who are interested to join the session. Let them join. And if you are watching this channel from your current country, please sh- share me your country and your background where you so that it will be more direct between your side and my side. Also, in the comment section, please type from which country you are watching this live session and what's your background, whether you are a student or a professional or a business entrepreneur, so that the information I'm going to share in this live session will be more helpful for your Canadian immigration. At present, I'm doing this live session on the YouTube. Maybe in future we will try to add this live session in Facebook and other social media. Who can come to Canada is the top today's live webinar. So, in this webinar, we are going to discuss in detail opportunities which is available for entrepreneur, skilled workers, and for the students. So, who can come to Canada? The answer is anyone can come to Canada, and there is no any restriction for any country or any people whoever interested, and if you have a right set of qualification, education, skilled experience, and English language score, then you can move to Canada. As you all know, Canada is a multicultural country, so people from all over the world, they are interested to come to work, study, or visit Canada as a immigrant. And you all know the Canadian government interested to bring bright, skilled, and world talent people to their country to build their nation to the next level and to be competitive with the other G7 countries. Also, they wanted to compete with growing countries like China, India, and other South Asian countries. And why the Canadian government is always welcoming the new immigrant? There is multiple reason, and these are all the few main reason why the Canadian government need immigrant to their country. The first point is aging population. The average Canadian population age is above 40, so there is a big gap for a skilled work people. Also, the population below 40 age. That's the reason the Canadian government wanted to bring a new immigrant to their country. Due to the age factor, there is a big labor shortage in all industries, and also to work in some specified skills like healthcare, engineering, and other service support jobs, they need a skilled worker to come and work in Canada as a skilled work category people. Also, this one support the Canadian economic growth that is more important for any countries at this current instability situation. Also, they wanted to strengthen their local community. If you want to move to Canada, and there is a big more possibilities In these three category, you can move to Canada with your education, experience, and the English language skill. So Canada is always looking for these three category people. The first one is entrepreneur and business owner. Second one, skilled worker. And the third one, international student. So if you are fall under this three category, and there is more chance you can get a chance to come to Canada as a student or a skilled worker or a entrepreneur. Especially who is having a more chance to come to Canada is the first one is entrepreneur or a businessman. The first reason is Canada is looking for more entrepreneur and business mindset of people, and the reason is this type of entrepreneur or a investor who is already having a business idea or a business plan, or they have a wide experience in their own business, and if they wanted to start their business in Canada, and if they wanted to start the business in Canada, they obviously bringing a big investment amount, and especially this investment will be in the Canadian dollar, so that a big investment entering into the Canadian country with the Canadian dollar, so that it will increase their Canadian dollar reserves. And the second reason is this entrepreneur is going to create a new job in Canada, so that people who already in Canada as a permanent residency or a citizen, they could get job from this business or from this entrepreneur, whether it could be a small restaurant or a big incorporate companies. Those companies or a business is going to give a job opportunities for the Canadian residents. Also, most of the Canadian business support their local community, so that local community buy their own country product, and this economy runs with their local community by buying their local product. And if the new investment enter into Canada and it's producing job opportunities and it's circulating the money inside the country, it's a big advantage for Canada to maintain and increase their GDP growth year by year. That's the main reason the Canadian government always encourage the entrepreneur to come to Canada and establish their business. If you are watching this live webinar, what type of business people can come to Canada? There is a big opportunities and steady growth in this industry, especially restaurant. retail store, electrical contract, HVAC companies, manufacturing companies, IT and software businesses, automotive service, construction, engineering service, medical and lab equipment, transportation, and consultation company. These are all the few example. If you are already having some business experience and you are successfully running a business anywhere in the world, and if you wanted to start your business to come to Canada, then you could do your research and you can come to Canada. So, as a business owner, if you wanted to come to Canada, do your research about the opportunities available in Canada, and especially in Canada, each province have their own business nomination program, and also the opportunities for your business, whichever province is providing more opportunity, focus on that province and try to enter through this province nomination program. As you already running your business, you have to know the business model will work in Canadian setup. For example, if you are running a air conditioned business in other country, then you need to think about how the air conditioned business plan is successfully running, and what are all the steps you need to take when you wanted to start a air condition sales or a service business in the particular province. Also, the Canadian tax and regulations are strict for all the business and individual, so that you should have to know the Canadian tax rules and regulation. So discuss with the tax consultant and prepare your business plan along with them. Also, each business and each business plan have their own investment criteria. If you are opening a business in Canada, and you have to know what is the minimum investment amount you should have to open a business in Canada. Also, you should have to know the proper business plan and the professional guidance to move to Canada with your business plan, so that in the future you can stabilize your job or a business in your expertise. And this is the second category, people who can come to Canada. This one is skilled worker. If you are watching my channel, I'm mostly publishing the job opportunities and permanent residency for the Canadian immigration process. And if you are watching the current live session, type from which country are you watching this live session now. Also, type on the comment section if you are a skilled worker and what type of skilled work experience do you have, and what set of qualification or experience you are working in this industry. In my channel, I used to talk about the job opportunities, especially in electrical, mechanical, industrial maintenance, and other manufacturing, service, and healthcare related job opportunities. If you wanted to come to Canada as a skilled worker, these are all the main category that you need to be focused when you are coming to Canada. And if you are watching this live channel, please type from which country you are watching this live session. So, as a skilled worker, the first qualification is education. For example, if you are a mechanical engineer, the minimum qualification from the Canadian employer is it could be a diploma or a bachelor's degree to work as a mechanical engineer. Apart from the education qualification, you need a relevant experience in your background, and this experience it could be minimum 3 to 5 years of experience. That's a minimum experience requirement from most of the Canadian employers. And the third one is language ability. You all know if you wanted to move to Canada, you should have to do your English language exam. That could be a IELTS or a CELPIP language exam. And from that exam, at least you need to meet your minimum English language band score. That English language band score will help you for your immigration process. Also, the age is one of the main factor for the skilled work people. The lower the age, the higher the chance for your Canadian immigration. For example, if you are age category from 20 to 25 with a 3 to 5 years of experience and the education qualification, there is a higher possibility to come into Canadian immigration program. Or if you have a right set of qualification and more experience and high age from 35 to 40, there is a chance you can come into Canada as a worker or a permanent residency, but there is a less chance because of your age factor. And most of the occupation is in demand in Canada, and those occupations you have to figure it out whether that occupation need any license. For example, if you wanted to work as a nurse in hospital industry, then you should have a proper education and the Canadian nurse registered license. Then only you can work as a registered nurse in Canada. And education level for a skilled worker, whether it could be a trade certificate, diploma, or an advanced diploma, bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD. or a professional certificate. Depending upon the work experience and the education qualification, this could be changed for everyone. Already we discussed about the language requirement. As I mentioned before, in my YouTube channel, you can see the job opportunity information and future opportunities for electrical, mechanical, instrumentation, automation, hydraulic, or a pneumatic related, whether it could be a service engineer or a sales and support work. You can find the job opportunities in my previous video on my YouTube channel. If you are watching this live session, please give me a like, or if you have any questions, add a comment it on the comment section so that I can help you on it. We already discussed two topics and two categories, which is entrepreneur and the skilled worker. And there is a third category, it's for a student. If you are a student and if you wanted to come to Canada and want to earn a Canadian, so if you are a student and presently looking for student visa, and you should have to meet some minimum criteria to become an international student in Canada. Why the Canadian government is focusing on student visa is Canada need future workers to work in their community. That's the reason the Canadian government encourage international students to come to Canada, and after they completed their education program, and if they have a right set of qualification and experience, they can continue to study or work in Canada for their better future. Currently, the international student situation is not that much positive because the Canadian government is taking some few steps to control the population inside Canada. That's the reason even people who already completed their education, for example, bachelor's or a PG programs, they are struggling to get their extended work visa. But this is the current situation. Maybe in future, these students or a new international student can able to work and study in Canada. That we need to wait and see. So if you are a international student and you wanted to explore the Canadian education and the Canadian work experience, still you can try to come to Canada as a student. So if you are coming as an international student, there is a lot of advantage because you all know the Canadian education program is one of the world highest qualified program. So once you get your certificate from one of the top universities from Canada, then you are eligible to go and work anywhere in the world. Also, the Canadian education is multicultural environment. If you are coming as a student and if you wanted to explore the multicultural experience, sure, there is a lot of possibility you can gain this multicultural environment in the Canadian universities. And you all know the Canada is one of the safest country for a international student, and there is a good career opportunities to work as a part-time worker in Canada with any employer. So if you wanted to come to Canada as a student, just make sure what job or a skill that Canada need in future. So depending upon that, you can select the program which is more relevant to your previous education or experience, and then you can choose the program for your Canadian student pathway. Also, you have to research your tuition cost and the living cost that you are going to spend for next 2 to 3 years depending upon your education program. And also, as a student, you can work in Canada as a part-time worker with any employer without any restriction. Also, you should have to know the rules how the work hours work for international student. So plan your career carefully and then move to Canada as a international student. If you are watching this live webinar, tell me which category fit for you in this three category, whether the YouTube live program currently you are watching, whether you are an entrepreneur, skilled worker, or a student, type it in the comment box which category you are belongs to. Also, if you already done your research about your Canadian immigration or a Canadian work visa, which province is having a more opportunity for your background. So, if you wanted to come to Canada as a skilled worker, these are all the long term demand industry. And if you have a experience in healthcare, engineering, industrial maintenance, electrical, mechanical, automation, construction industry, manufacturing, renewable energy, transport, and food processing. So, if you have a 3 to 5 years of experience with the right set of qualification and a English language, and having a experience in this industry, do your research and move to Canada. When you are doing a plan to move to Canada, make sure you are doing the things on the right way, because most of the Canadian application they all online. So you no need to rely on any consultant, recruitment agency, or anyone who can do your application manually. And if you wanted to work in Canada as a skilled worker, make sure your resume is prepared for the Canadian resume standard. Also, LinkedIn is one of the easiest way to show yourself to the Canadian employer. Keep your LinkedIn profile more strong so that it's easy to enter into the Canadian job market. Also, through the LinkedIn network, try to connect with the Canadian employer for your future job search, and make sure the category or the s- job background which you are working on, whether it need a license or a unlicensed profession. And when you are planning for your Canadian immigration or a work visa roadmap, make sure you are improving your English knowledge and you have a right set of experience. Also, whatever the education program which you completed, that certificate need to be assessed and certified by a Canadian Education Assessment Board. Also, build your technical skill on your expertise. As you all know, from my side, I can able to give a guidance about the Canadian job market, especially if you are a electrical, mechanical technician, engineer, or a instrumentation automation engineer, or a technician, CNC operator, or a programmer, or if you are working in any in this industry, you can reach out me for more guidance about my service. And if you have any question related to this industry, please type your question, or you can send an email about your questions so that I will try to answer on my availability. If you are watching this live session, please type from which country you are watching this live session. And thanks for watching this live session. And if this information is more informative for you, please type your feedback on the comment section. That will help us to improve our service for the upcoming webinars. And one more time, thanks for watching this live session. See you on the next live session. Bye.